You know, instead of like, you know, oh, hey, let's go do this. Oh, hey, let's go to the movies. Oh, hey, let's go to the park. If anything, it's a, hey, let's go to the park so we can manipulate objects.
If I'm hanging out with a group of people and we don't really have anything to say to each other, but I'm just with my friends hanging out, well, one thing that we'll do is spin or just pick up something and just flow with it a little.
Everything she does and all of everything she says just right. My green eyes lights of heaven, gotta keep her by my side. She's my little crazy one and everything that I wish I could be. When I hold her in my arms, I know that nothing could go wrong. When she's holding on my hand, she's really holding on my heart. She knows that I know that she's the only one that I could see. She's the only one that I know that can make me feel like this. And when she's not around, you know her smile and her eyes I truly miss. Oh yeah, she's everything in me. Yeah, yeah, she's all that I want and she's all that I could ever need. My California girl, you know she's like that sweet sunshine. Like laying in the sand, she got that peace I wanna find. My gorgeous little girl, she helps to see the good in me. She's my smile when I get sad, my lonely face when I am lost. My sweet and perfect kiss, my happiness when I am not. She got that type of loving in her soul, she only lets me see. And everything that I am.
Like, I have a lot of friends in the flow culture, and we're really close. They're like my family almost.
I do feel a part of the flow community. Maybe it might be because all of my friends do it.
It's one of the most inclusive cultures I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of.
I definitely feel like I'm a member of the flow community.
I have to say the longer that I've been in the community, the more I felt a part of it.
Well, I feel like I'm a part of the flow community because they're all like very accepting, and they like encourage me to be like creative and just like express myself, and I just feel free to just, you know, be creative and just let my spirit be free.
I mean, I've always had trouble fitting in, and the fact that I can go to a group that I know that I fit with and know that they'll accept me regardless of my skin, hair, piercings, tattoos, whatever. Just simply based on the fact that we all share the same passions and we love flowing.
The biggest reason why I would consider myself part of the flow community more than anything else is because it's literally enveloped my life at this point, to where my car is currently full of objects at all times and everything. I constantly try to spark people's interest into go spinning, as well as trying to meet up with friends to go do so.
Yeah, originally, I really didn't care to spin it all, but I started because all of my friends were doing it, and I was sitting in a room with all these people just like with all these different objects doing crazy stuff, and I'm just like, well, I guess I can't just keep playing guitar all the time, so I'll pick something up and try myself. And I'm glad I did, because like I said, I feel part of a larger thing.
It's certainly the first community I felt like I'm really a part of, and it's extremely welcoming. Anybody can be a part of it if they feel like it. It's just a matter of opening yourself up and taking that first step to go meet people.
The flow community in general, they're very welcoming, you know, so it's very easy to like make friends through that. And like I've definitely found that the friends that I've made through flow, or like not necessarily through flow, but the friends that I've like had and then started to flow, or friends I've met through flow, like definitely stick around a lot longer and a lot more concrete than other people.
If I'm on campus and I go over to the smoker's pit, that's an easy way for me to start a conversation. If I go on campus and I see somebody with poi that are flowing around or something like that, then that's a way for me to come up to them and say, oh, hey, nice hyperloop, that was pretty good. Like, it's a way for you to start a conversation with somebody.
It's pretty much become part of every aspect of what I do with anything and everything. As far as at this point, I manipulate all objects of every kind, even in the kitchen at work.
I feel like the specific experiences that have really contributed to me feeling like I'm a part of the community have been most of the flow events that have gone on, because then everybody meets each other and we all understand we're pretty much in this together and we all enjoy doing the same thing. And it's as simple as that sometimes. Just when you share the same passions as other people, you communicate in a much more, I don't want to say intimate way, but
You have these groups of people that are like actively trying to unify the culture.
I've really sensed the togetherness with it whenever I go out to festivals and whatnot, because you can actually go and take classes and spend 4 or 5 days straight in the woods camping with upwards of 2,000 other people that do it from all over the world, doing nothing but classes in there just to simply skill share and just kind of, spread the knowledge that they already have in the community itself.
A burn is a gathering of people that is typically set somewhere away from society, in a place where they can do whatever they want.
there's a lot of organization behind Burns, actually. There's tons of teams that go into it, tons of different pyrotechnics and safety and first aid and greeters and registration and all of this. It's just it's a world that you can just immerse yourself in.
They hold these events on private property, so that you pretty much come freely do whatever you want, as long as you sign the waiver, and you show up and it's right there at the welcome gate. You get a necklace, someone gives you a hug, welcome home. It's very it's very inviting culture.
I guess I really feel like I became a member of the Flow community after my first fire festival. I attended the first Flame Festival, being the Flow Arts Movement Exchange, and there were only 50 of us there, but we were from all over the country, tons of different profs, tons of different backgrounds, and I taught my first band class there as well. But that's how I started to get to know some of my friends in Ohio, who I try and keep in touch with, and we like to spend together. I'm going to be seeing them this year at Flame as well, and hopefully a couple other events.
I remember being there with my buddies Danny and Pat, and we were spinning on top of the effigy at the very top, and we just threw up our hammocks, we're chilling there, just talking about all the people and looking down at everybody and seeing how it's all come together, and it's just we're just talking about how awesome it is that this many like-minded individuals can get organized about this. It's I'm glad to see it growing, for sure.
It's a setting for everybody to bring the craziest stuff that they can, just to have a good time, to play music and to dance all night, to hang out with new people, and to not be afraid that you're not going to be accepted, because no matter what, I think that's one of the biggest rules, is to be accepting of everybody. Number one, yourself.
It was amazing because when you're there, you can do anything, I can just lay in the grass and look at the sky. I can just adventure and I can meet people and I can, eat food, and for me, I guess it's a break from reality. I work a lot, I go to school, and it's stress. I never have time just to be. And when I'm there, it just feels I'm this is what a human naturally does, We're supposed to just be in the nature and just, enjoy each other and not have all this stress to worry about.
It's not all about drugs. It's definitely not all about drugs. People get high. They do. They spin fire, spin toys. But if I stopped smoking weed, I wouldn't stop spinning boy. they don't go hand in hand. They can, but they don't have to.
I definitely don't feel like you have to do drugs to be in this culture, but there are some people that find their way into it that way. It's really one of those to each his own type things. I mean, me personally, I really don't need it because I can flow whether I'm sober or not. It's just something I enjoy doing.
At the end of it, it doesn't really matter how good you are, as long as you went out and tried, and as long as you do something, and make it as you as possible.
You know, every year you just like you meet new people, new ideas. They're just like trying to help build the idea of flow. You know, it's always a pretty special experience.
Because you can go there before, you could be a virgin to one and come back and realize things about yourself that you never knew before. And in fact, you're supposed to do that every year. You're supposed to go back and find a little bit more about yourself that you didn't know.
I guess just spending, multiple days and nights in a row, spending as many props as possible with all these different really cool people and just exchanging knowledge really brought me into the community, made me feel like a part of it, made me want to volunteer and be a bigger part of it.
What I enjoyed the most was, all the people I met, all the time that I got to enjoy with those people, just spending multiple nights in a row with people who started out as strangers and then became friends by the end of the weekend. It's an experience. It breaks it down to the fundamental levels, like where my hand placements are, where the hand paths are going, where the poi are, where the poi heads are, where the tethers are. It's a lot of things processing all at once.
When you're sitting there, like actually trying to learn something and crank it out, you can definitely feel like mental building blocks and bridges forming and coming together.
Makes you think on every angle about the move that you're doing. Say, I'm doing contact staff. I'd roll it around my hand, and then down my arm, catch it right here, swivel it around my neck, throw it back up to this arm, and then into this hand. It takes a whole lot of thought to be able to break that down piece by piece and analyze it and understand it. Because to first be able to do the move, you have to be able to understand it. And it's very much the same way with poi, because especially if you're breaking into tech poi, then it just blows your mind and makes you think on so many different levels that you don't normally have to think on from a day-to-day perspective.
Then you get to a point and you say, you're at a wall with poi, and then you say, man, I just don't know what I'm doing anymore, but I want to learn something, but I'm just stuck. And so you pick up clubs or something, and you're like, wow, this is a whole new prop for me to use. I've never done this before. It's like a whole new world for me to delve into, a new different tricks and moves that you can learn.
I feel like when I'm in a flow, I'm giving up my control. I just stop thinking and I just go with it and I flow. And when I feel like when I bring that element of control, that's when I lose my state of flow.
I would probably say flow to me is just like that point where you're basically in the zone. You're just like you're kind of just like feeling out like your own personal energy mixed with the universal energy around you. It's just like coming together just perfectly.
Fire is a great part of it all.
Fire's hot. remember that.
I love fire. It just adds that element of excitement. You know, it really captures an audience attention. You know, if you're just spinning something like, if it's like glowing or something, that's cool and all, but like when you add fire to it, like people seem really surprised because that's not something you usually would expect. And when you're doing it with fire, it's different, you know. You're a little more careful, cautious. It sometimes affects your flow, but if you're really in a flow state, I think it really enhances it, you know, like, because you know you can't mess up because that's like fire and it's hot, you know.
Maybe it's something to do with how much energy the fire holds itself, you know? You want to keep it moving.
These are fire fans. Fire fans are used in a couple different ways. A lot of people use them in a technical aspect to spin them and do all sorts of cool little moves. The wicks are made out of a material called Kevlar. It's not exactly like the bulletproof vest like you're thinking. Made out of a similar material though. Kevlar, it soaks up a lot of fuel and it retains a lot of the fuel and makes it, is probably the best way that people have found to light things on fire safely.
Fire is that thing that you're practicing for. Like when you're with sock poi or with practice poi or, you know, with practice any sort of prop, it's the reason that you're practicing is so that you could do it on fire. And at least that's how it's come to me eventually, is because fire is, it makes it fun. Fire is what makes it like really fun and invigorating. The first time that I spun poi on fire, my heart was beating and I felt like I just got off a roller coaster, and I felt invigorated by it.
These are my fire poi. They're probably the most popular prop in the southeast region. They're called a momentum prop. They're called what's a momentum prop, and momentum prop just means that you have to keep the prop spinning for the chain to remain taut, because opposed to a static prop, which is like every other prop that we've gone over today. The way these are made are, the first thing you have are the handles, which are actually furniture knobs that I have turned into, glued the swivel, which is this part, into so it can let the chain actually spin. The next part we have is the connection to the chain, which is just a soldered ring that connects the swivel to our chain, and our chain right here is actually a dog chain that you can pick up at any pet store or anything like that, which leads to our fire poi, which is just Kevlar wicking that has been folded in a cathedral braid and sewn up so not to come unraveled after so many burns. They're evenly weighted, and there's an eye bolt in the center, which is what the cathedral braid is wrapped around.
And it's the sound of it too. It's, you know, the it changes everything about it.
More often than not, it's relaxing, it's soothing, and it generally just puts a smile on my face.
tire is an extremely alluring element, to tell you the truth. It's the sound of it swinging around your head, just there's nothing else in the world like it. It's exhilarating but calming at the same time. It's a unique experience, I would say.
No matter how I felt like I did, everybody cheered me on, everybody was happy to see me doing what makes me happy. And ultimately that's what it comes down to in this community, is just doing what makes you feel right, and ultimately pursuing what you want to pursue. And people respect that, and people appreciate that.
I get pretty pissed off when people assume that because I'm a fire spinner, I do drugs, and that I'm going to be trouble, and that I'm going to burn your house down, or that you need to call the cops on me because I'm spinning in the middle of your cul-de-sac. Well, you can suck it, because I'm a lot safer than you think I am. I'm probably safer than how you function in your household. But just basically, the drug thing definitely bothers me.
As far as other cultures that I'm a part of, I mean, I came from the metal scene. I've always liked metal. I've always loved to get down with the heavy shit, you know.
Just because I play guitar doesn't make me feel part of a guitar community.
I definitely have found more acceptance with the flow community than I did with the equestrian community. When I was with the equestrian community, I was slowly developing a drinking problem. And fire spinning actually helped me get out of that.
The metal scene in particular is very discriminatory. If you look a certain way, or don't look like everybody else, or act a certain way, or don't act like everybody else, then you can get kicked in the face in the mosh pit, like, just because somebody wants to.
I know when I was in the music community, especially last semester, they're a bit more, they do things differently. Like, they have fun in different ways. I know when I hang out with my flow friends, we're just content just to like sit around and maybe spin some things and just like, you know, hang out. And those people are too, but there's more like drinking involved, I've noticed, with other cultures. I feel like the flow culture doesn't really drink a lot.
I'll say that's probably the first thing that I felt like that towards, being a part of something bigger than what you're doing. And it doesn't happen all the time. You never feel like you're there. You never feel like, all right, I've beat Poi, you know, I win. You know, you don't win. You just keep going, and you just keep driving yourself.
Keep me from